Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our urban worm bag that has the African Nightcrawlers in it. Now, this is a system that has been sitting for about 27 days since our last update where we did add some food. It was a little bit dry. I was hoping to get to it a little bit sooner than this, but as I've told you guys, I've had COVID. Missed a couple weeks there where it was really hard for me to make videos, but we're going to try to get back into the swing of things. I'm still recovering, but I feel much better, and it's time to start making some videos and getting these worms composting again. So we're going to take a look. Hopefully the African Nightcrawlers are doing good, and we've got some food for them that it's not frozen this time, but it should be ready to go in the system, and it should hopefully be something that they like and will eat. So with that, let's take a look at the system, see how it's doing, and let's go from there. All right, here's our system. As I said, it's been 27 days since our last update, and let's go ahead and take a look and see how this is doing. Remember, if you're looking to purchase one of these, I do have links down below. And I do have links to other things on Amazon as well, which does help me out a little bit as far as bringing a little income towards this business and being able to provide more content. So with this, as we open it up, it looks like it is very, very dry, unsurprisingly. I'm not surprised at all. It was dry last time too that we opened it up initially. You can see there's a lot of springtails on this. Actually, let me zoom you in. Oops. Didn't mean to bump you like that. Let me zoom you in just a little bit. There's lots of springtails on here. That's a good sign, actually. I know some people don't like springtails, but springtails usually means that, things are being broken down. So there's a little bit more moisture on here. And you can see there's actually some growth here in the center. Let's just move this out of the way. There's a little bit of growth here. Some of the peppers or something that we had in here. So that happens a lot of times in these systems, but you can see there's actually moisture here in the center section. And this looks like it's starting to be broken down a little bit. And, ooh, look at this. Hold on here. We got our big worm right there. We got a little worm right there. That's a little guy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little worm right there. There's another one right there. That means there are babies in here. And another one. All right. That is a great sign. It shows that these worms are starting to fill out this system, and they're starting to reproduce. This is a very important sign. Something I'm very excited to see, because I was getting a little bit nervous here. But you can see there's another couple large worms over here. Actually, there's a third one back here, it looks like. Material's definitely on the dry side, but we're going to add some food in here that's going to help moisten it up a little bit. But look at that. You can see there's 1, 2, 3 worms, and there's another little worm in there. This is a great sign. These worms are starting to come together. They're starting to multiply. They're starting to break down this material. It looks like the center section looks nice and broken down. Let's just go down a little bit deeper in here. You can see there's even more worms down in here, and another little baby worm. Look at this. Well, let's just see if we can coax that worm out here. Look at this worm. Little tiny worm. I'm trying. Whoops, I was off camera there. Little tiny worm right here. So look at that. And this one's a juvenile. So these worms are starting to multiply. They are starting to breathe. They're putting cocoons down, and this is a great sign for this system. Material actually looks like a pretty decent moisture level for these worms. They seem to like it drier, I've noticed, compared to my reds or my European Nightcrawlers. But we're still going to add some moisture in here because this is all just dry, way too dry for my liking. And I do feel that moisture is a little bit better, especially to have worms be larger in size. Let's just take a look over here. Not seeing anything on this side. This looks a little too dry. That's okay though, as I said. As long as we're seeing worms that are multiplying in here, this is just a great sign. I'm going to go ahead and dig in this bottom section just a little bit. And this looks a little bit too dry as well. Oh, we do see a worm right over here though, and another one right here. So we've got 2 worms, 3 worms, another worm. So they're doing good in here. All right, I'm gonna go grab some food. I'll be right back. All right, I've got my food over here. As I said, this is gonna be a little bit different than what we're used to doing here. This is some food. As I said, I had COVID, still recovering, and I just had a lot of fruits and vegetables that went bad. So here is a cucumber that I did not finish off before I got sick, and therefore it went bad. And then I've got one other thing in here. This is not frozen, by the way. This is just cold, a little bit cold because it's sitting in the fridge, but it's very moist, so it's going to add a lot of moisture to the system. And then I've got something else over here that I don't think I've really ever added to my system, but I had, right before I had COVID, I peeled some beets. I don't know if these will grow even in here, but we're going to go ahead and throw these in here. These are, again, not frozen. They're just cold, but we're going to go ahead and throw them in. I wasn't expecting to be sick. I peeled them, and I was going to juice them, and then I was going to actually throw them probably in one of my systems, the juice leftover pulp, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Now with that, we do need to add some water in here. So what we're going to do, before I close that up, I'm going to just spray around them with my hose. I'm not going to add any paper. I don't want to add a lot of paper to this system. There's plenty of cardboard and paper and stuff like that in here, so I'm just going to kind of moisten this down and just get some moisture in here. I'm not adding, also, if you notice, I'm not adding any of my crushed crab and eggshell this time. I just don't think it's going to be quite necessary for these worms. I really just want to let this, you know, give them some food, but also just give them some microbial activity. These, by the way, beets have a lot of sugar in them, so that should help a lot. If I cut them up a little smaller, they'd probably be a little better, but I wanted them to take the time and to kind of sit in here, and that way they can kind of group around it, preferably. I don't really want them to be all over the place. I want them to sort of congregate to this area where those are. Now, with that, we are going to go ahead and cover them up a little bit with some paper. We're going to go ahead and cover them up with that cloth, and then of course we've got this to go on top of that as well. So with that, now what we're going to do, if you remember right, we added a lot of water on top of this. I'm going to do the same thing this time. I'm just going to go ahead and spray all this down. Spray this entire top down. The water is very important for worms. It's how they breathe. And while it did look pretty decent in the middle, probably because this is actually saturating through slowly and keeping everything moist, which is why the worms are doing well there and multiplying, we are going to have to check on this a little bit more frequently, or find some way to kind of have water slowly drip into the system. That's what I sort of use these boxes for, is that you can fill them with water and they, you know, it slowly dissolves through it and into the system. But there we go. I think that's going to be good. We're going to try to come back a little sooner than the 27 days. I was really kind of surprised. Not surprised. I wasn't expecting to be that long with all this stuff. I know, as I said, I've had COVID, and you know that's been sort of a key part of my life recently. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close this back up, and we're going to come back hopefully in about 10 days or so to check on it, see how the worms are doing, see if they've moved towards those foods, and see how those foods are breaking down. So with that, thank you for watching. Again, let me remind you, I do have this stuff available on my site. If you're looking to purchase an urban worm bag or a vermi bag, or you're just looking for some of the stuff I use for recording, or some other things that I've used in my systems, I do have links on worldofcompost.com. So thank you for watching, and again, please leave any comments if you want to just talk or chat or ask any questions. Thank you.